Interesting study that is out right now. Interesting because, as I said when I kind of mentioned it earlier in the afternoon, I did not know, but this is in fact, before we get to actually Father's Day, it's kind of Father's Week, if you will. And this story comes out talking about co-parenting and how dads are involved. And I guess more than anything else, perception really doesn't seem to have changed that much in the real world. So I want to talk more about this. Anne-Marie Cech is on the line. She is Program Manager in Early Childhood, Youth and Families at the Community Health and Social Services Network. Thank you for coming on. As I said, it's interesting to note when you break down how parents feel about this, there's a lot of agreement, but feeling is one thing and doing is another. And are those old stereotypes still here as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are stereotypes that are unfortunately keeping parents from really working as a team. And what I would say is one of those stereotypes is that parents from this survey are telling us that they believe that Quebec society as a whole views mothers as parents who have greater abilities than fathers. So that's one of the stereotypes.
Yeah, and of course, when you ask fathers, though, it's a little different, right? They all think they're doing a pretty good job. The real numbers suggest otherwise.
Yeah, well, I would say in terms of this particular answer, it was both mothers and fathers who felt that, they weren't necessarily that fathers are not necessarily being considered in the full of their abilities or capabilities. And, parents want change because they...
Go ahead. No, please go ahead. You say fathers want change?
Well, fathers and mothers are looking for change because one of the things that the study also tells us is that the mental load still seems to rest more heavily on mothers than it does on fathers. And one of the things that parents are recommending is just having a simple thing like daycares and school call both parents if there's something going on with the kid. So, right now the reflex is still just to call the mother.
Right.
And that does two things. It creates a heavier mental load for the mom, but it also sends a message to the dad that, well, we rather talk to mom than talk to you.
Sure. I mean, those gender stereotypes, as I'm kind of saying, they still exist. I just wonder, it seems to me, in kind of going through this quickly, there's still a lot more social pressure on mothers than there is on fathers. So is part of the recommendation here, or the suggestion, if you will, that we change how we look at what dad can do? For example, I know you're talking about maternity leave, or in this case, paternity leave. What do you want to see there?
Yeah, so what we're hoping to see and what parents are telling us is we'd like to have extended paternity leave. So what we know from data is that the perinatal period, so right from the get-go when a child is being born, as soon as the parents have a chance to start working as a team, that's going to have a longer lasting effect throughout the life of that child. And the benefits are not just for the parents themselves and the added load that we tend to see more towards mother, but really for the child. Because if they have two parents that are working together right from the beginning, that child is going to benefit in their development. And the benefit will also be in terms of sharing the load and responsibility of having a child.
I guess one of the things we can take here that is potentially positive is you did a breakdown that suggested younger people more readily recognize this, of course, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing that comes out really strongly in this survey is that 91% of English-speaking parents in Quebec believe that working as a team will benefit the development of their child. And 89% of them believe that working together is going to reduce the mental load. So basically what that tells us is that parents are ready, they're doing it, and they believe it, but they want services, government policy, and overall society to support them in working as a team.
Can you, I mean, I don't know if it's a fair question or not, but this idea about, father's competence, doubting it perhaps, as I said, that's probably been the case forever. It's nice to read that younger people think that's not necessarily how it should be, but how hard is this going to be to change, do you think?
I think there has been a progression, and I think that the more that we give dads space within services, for example, if parents are going to a hospital to have a baby, why not have a bed there for the other co-parent that's supporting that parent? Or, for example, the other thing is in work cultures where it's still more accepted for a mother to take time off rather than a father if a child is sick or if it's for a leave or something like that. So employers can help in this quest of supporting fathers and viewing fathers as able as mothers.
Yeah, so from what I'm seeing, so you say Quebec fathers, dads here, define themselves as caregivers first, not breadwinners, which again kind of flips the old theory on its head as well, right? Is that just in Quebec, or are you finding this across the country? Do you know?
So I'm not really familiar with the data of all of Canada, but I know that a few years ago, the Regroupement for the Valorisation de la Paternité did do a study, and Quebec fathers are faring pretty good in terms of their views as a father or their perception as fathers. So I'm sorry, I can't say too much on it, but Quebec dads are doing pretty good.
Okay. So with respect to this, and you lay out some of the changes that could happen here and would obviously be beneficial if they did, that goes to a government. Have there been discussions? What are you trying to get done here?
So there are 10 recommendations that are that will be placed in a platform for government. And what we're asking is for the government to reflect on what the current policy is doing or not doing to help support fathers and the co-parenting approach. What we want to see is a collective co-parenting reflex. So what that means is when governments are thinking about proposing leave for parents who just had a child, why not add a couple of weeks for the dads? Or if we're, during the time of a separation, we know that those are really tough moments for parents and for the co-parenting relationship. So we'd like to have judges, lawyers, notaries trained in the co-parenting approach so that when they're meeting with one parent, they're already thinking about including the other parent and trying to bring them back to working as a team, even in those difficult moments.
Wow, which is really interesting. So we have to assume, if you're saying that it would be nice to have that, we don't have that now, and that kind of works against dads.
Yeah, unfortunately. There's still a lot to be done. From the take of the Regroupement pour la Valorisation de la Paternité, who really has an expertise in the domain, what their research is telling us is that right now the policies are a little bit outdated to the current times. The dads are a lot more involved than we think, and they want to be more involved, but we have to, as a society, welcome that and make that place for them.
So I usually ask this when it's a matter of dealing with governments. From what you've heard, what's the feedback been? Is the government open to this? And I realize, there's an election coming up in October. Maybe everything changes. But what's your sentiment so far?
Unfortunately, I haven't been the one advocating to the government, so I wouldn't have any information on a very good question.
But it is something, obviously, that needs to be pursued. This is going to be pursued with the government, right? Because they're the ones who will have to decide on paternity leave in this case, for example.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Listen,
there will be meetings.
Yeah. I wish you luck. I mean, I think for a lot of dads, in this situation who want to be able to do more and feel that, it's a bit unfair now, treating them kind of as second class here. I hope this manages to move a little further. So thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Aaron, I don't know if you're a dad. Are you a dad?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
It. All right.
Okay, thank you very much
you're
for
welcome.
giving us time to talk about this.
Pleasure.
The newest tracks. Let's go. New music. And the next big thing.
Always on the new music first.
Your first place to hear it all.
'Cause you gon' like it, love it, wanna play it twice. Playing now.
iHeart New Music. Your digital station for brand new drops, fresh finds, and tomorrow's bangers.
I think we need something new.
Discover iHeart New Music. Always fresh, always first. Stream now on the free iHeartRadio app.